It was a crisp autumn evening when Maya stood at the edge of a cliff, staring into the dark abyss below. The wind whipped through her hair, but she didn't flinch. For the first time in her life, she felt like she was standing at the precipice of something monumental. A journey that would take her far beyond the comfort of her mundane existence into a world she never knew existed, one that could shatter her perceptions and change everything about who she thought she was. Maya's life had always been relatively normal. She had a steady job at a library, a small but cozy apartment, and a circle of friends she trusted. However, beneath the surface of her everyday routine, there was a gnawing sense of emptiness, a feeling that something was missing. She had always felt this way, but for a long time, she couldn't pinpoint exactly what it was. There were gaps in her memory, flashes of things she couldn't explain, and strange dreams that left her with a sense of unease. Yet, she never thought to question them, until one day when an event occurred that would change her life forever. It started with an old letter. Maya had found it buried in a stack of books she was organizing at the library. The envelope was yellowed with age, and the handwriting on it was familiar, but she couldn't quite place it. When she opened it, she was taken aback by the contents. The letter was addressed to her, written in a way that made her feel like it had been waiting for her to discover it. It spoke of a hidden truth, a secret about her lineage, and a calling that she couldn't escape. The letter urged her to visit a secluded town named Vesper Hollow, where the answers she sought were buried. At first, Maya dismissed it as some kind of prank or a figment of her imagination. But as days passed, the letter haunted her. The more she thought about it, the more convinced she became that there was something significant about it. She had to go. She had to see if the letter was real. And so, without much preparation, Maya packed a bag and set off to find Vesper Hollow. Her mind raced with questions, her heart beat faster with every mile she drove. What was she really looking for? Why had this letter been sent to her, and what did it mean for her future? She couldn't ignore the strange pull to the unknown that had been growing inside her for years. She needed to know the truth, even if it meant stepping into a world that was darker and more dangerous than anything she could have ever imagined. As Maya entered the small, seemingly forgotten town of Vesper Hollow, she felt the air grow heavier. The streets were narrow and winding, with old houses that seemed to sag under the weight of time. The atmosphere was suffocating, like the town itself had secrets it was desperate to keep hidden. As she drove deeper into the heart of the town, she noticed the absence of people. There were no children playing, no adults walking the streets. The silence was unsettling. She parked her car near a small inn and stepped out, glancing around cautiously. Her instincts told her to turn back, to leave this place and never look back, but something deep inside her urged her forward. She had come too far to turn around now. The innkeeper, a frail old woman named Edith, greeted her with a knowing smile. There was something about the woman's eyes that unsettled Maya. It was as if Edith had been waiting for her arrival for years. "You've come for the answers, haven't you?" Edith asked, her voice raspy but kind. Maya nodded slowly. "I think so. I'm not really sure what I'm looking for, but I have to find out." Edith didn't respond immediately. She simply motioned for Maya to follow her into the inn. As they walked, Maya couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched. The walls of the inn seemed to whisper, and the shadows cast by the flickering candlelight felt alive, stretching and shifting as if they had a mind of their own. Once inside, Edith handed Maya a worn leather book. The cover was unmarked, but Maya could feel the weight of history behind it. "This will guide you," Edith said softly. "It's your birthright, Maya. You've always known, deep down, that you were different. Now it's time to understand why. Maya took the book, her fingers trembling slightly as she flipped it open. The pages were filled with cryptic symbols and faded drawings. Some of them seemed familiar, while others were completely foreign. As she read, a strange sensation washed over her, like she was unlocking a part of her brain that had been dormant for years. "I understand," Maya whispered, her voice hoarse. "You will," Edith assured her. "The truth will reveal itself in time, but only if you're willing to face over the next few days." Maya spent her time exploring the town and trying to make sense of the book's contents. She visited the places mentioned in the text: the old forest, the abandoned chapel, the hidden cave deep in the mountains. Each location seemed to resonate with something inside her. The more she uncovered, the more the pieces of her past began to fit together. But the truth wasn't easy to swallow. The symbols in the book were part of an ancient prophecy, one that had been passed down through generations. It spoke of a chosen one, someone with the power to break the chains of an ancient curse that had been placed on the town of Vesper Hollow. Maya was that chosen one. She was connected to the darkness that had haunted the town for centuries, and her destiny was to either break the curse or become its next victim. As the days passed, Maya began to notice strange occurrences: whispers in the dark, shadows moving when no one was around, and an overwhelming sense of being watched. Her dreams grew more vivid, more unsettling. In them, a dark figure stood at the edge of a forest, calling her name, urging her to come closer. It was a voice she recognized but couldn't place. One evening, after a particularly disturbing dream, Maya wandered into the woods behind the inn. The trees loomed overhead, their twisted branches seeming to stretch out toward her. The air was thick with an oppressive energy, and as she walked deeper into the forest, she felt an inexplicable pull. It was as if something was guiding her. She arrived at a clearing, where the dark figure from her dreams stood waiting. His eyes were hollow, filled with a darkness that seemed to consume everything in its path. Maya froze, fear gripping her chest. "You've come," the figure said, his voice echoing through the night. "I've been waiting for you." Maya took a step back, her heart racing. "Who are you?" "I am the one who created the curse. The one who has waited for centuries for the chosen one to appear. And now that you are here, the time has come for you to choose, to embrace your destiny or to let the darkness consume you." Maya's mind raced. She didn't understand. How could she be the one to break the curse? How could she defeat something so ancient and powerful? "You are stronger than you realize," the figure continued, his voice low and filled with power. "But you cannot do it alone. There are others who will help you, but you must trust them." Maya hesitated, fear and doubt swirling inside her. But deep down, she knew he was right. She couldn't fight this battle on her own. She had to trust the people she met along the way, even if it meant facing the darkness head-on. Maya knew that she had no choice but to face her fears and embrace the unknown. The curse of Vesper Hollow was tied to her bloodline, and only by confronting the darkness could she break it. But it wasn't just the town that was at risk, it was her life, her future, and the lives of those she loved. With newfound resolve, Maya set out to find the allies she would need to defeat the curse. She found an unlikely companion in a local historian named Gabriel, who had been studying the town's history for years. Together, they uncovered ancient rituals and lost texts that revealed the truth about the curse and how to break it. But the journey ahead wasn't easy. Every step Maya took brought her closer to the darkness, and with each step, she felt herself changing. She had to let go of her old life, her old self, and embrace the woman she was becoming, someone capable of facing the unknown and defeating the ancient evil that threatened her town. The final confrontation came one stormy night, when the veil between the world of the living and the dead was at its thinnest. Maya, Gabriel, and the others who had joined her gathered at the heart of the forest, where the curse had first been born. There, they performed the ancient ritual that would either free the town or doom them all. As Maya stood at the center of the ritual, she felt the weight of her destiny crash down on her. She was no longer the woman who had walked into Vesper Hollow searching for answers. She was a warrior, ready to face the darkness head-on and claim her future. And in that moment, as the ritual reached its peak, Maya made her choice. She embraced the unknown, knowing that only by doing so could she break the curse and save the town and herself. The storm passed, and the town of Vesper Hollow was forever changed. The curse was broken, the darkness banished, and Maya had become something more than she ever imagined. She had discovered the truth about her past and had embraced her destiny, no longer running from the unknown but walking boldly into it. With the curse lifted, the town began to heal, and Maya finally found the peace she had been searching for. But she knew that her journey was far from over. The unknown still beckoned, and she was ready to face whatever came next. After all, the greatest discoveries often come when you're willing to fall into the unknown.